it's never about the price, it's about the value. So if someone says $100 is too expensive, well, maybe for this felt coaster it is, but what about for my computer? No, a $100 computer would be a steal. What's the difference? It's the inherent value that we attribute to each of those items. So when I think of a computer, I think of what this is going to give me in return in terms of output at work, all the stuff it gives me access to. When I think of this felt coaster, what's the value I'm getting from this? It's going to save the wood. It's going to save the wood. Cool. Great. I'm not going to pay $100 for that. So remember, value is in the eye of the beholder to some degree. But nonetheless, what I'm suggesting here is that do not lower and discount your prices because some people say it's too expensive. You want to be able to distinguish. Can you afford it, or you just don't see the value? Because if someone says this is out of my budget, I can't afford it, there's nothing you can do about that. That's their problem. If they say it's too expensive, that's your problem. Because what it means is they haven't seen the value in what you're offering, or you haven't done a good enough job communicating it. So there's two things we want to do here. Number one is we want to build massive amounts of value into what it is you're selling and get better at clarifying and articulating, communicating that value so the other person understands it. Because there's one thing of you saying it and it's them understanding it and receiving it, which is a different thing. As an example, so when we were getting the designs for our house in Mexico, so we're building on the Pacific Ocean, the initial architectural conversation was around, this number of bedrooms, we wanted this amount of square footage, and this was kind of the budget we're thinking about. And because we're building on cliffside, obviously there's a lot of geographic things that the architects have to take into consideration. When they brought the plan back to us, they showed us something that was so friggin' incredible beyond what we could have even imagined. But the thing is that it was 6,000 more square feet than we had initially talked about. And then that meant an additional price hike. But here's the thing, is that my wife and I were like, just make it happen. Do it. Because we recognized that what they had proposed was infinitely more valuable to the type of house and lifestyle that we wanted to set up versus what we had initially thought about. And this is an example of, even though it was more expensive, it wasn't an issue because we saw the value in having that increased amount of space and the way that it was laid out. So it's never about the price, it's about the value. How do you make your program, your product more valuable? Well, you make it faster, you make it more convenient, you think about what's important to this prospective client, and you give them more certainty that they will achieve that outcome with this thing. And those are all factors in value. I have other videos that talk about this, so if you want to go through those, I'm sure there's somewhere on the channel.